Target has Laundry Day covered because they offer a great selection of concentrated Tide Pods to help with all your laundry needs. Tide Pods clean, freshen, and help rejuvenate your clothes with odor fighters and stain removers. Did you know Tide Pods clean better than the leading liquid bargain detergent? Tide Pods are powerful enough to make your whites white and your brights bright, even in cold water. Just toss in 1 Tide Pod for small loads, 2 for medium, 3 for large. It's that easy. For great value and convenient pickup options, get Tide Pods today at Target. Introducing Under Armour's Infinity High Sports Bra. Its ergonomic design is molded to support the natural movement of your body. With cord-out padding, the better breathability eliminates extra bulk without sacrificing support. And quick-dry padding is Under Armour's fastest-drying padding yet. When you're lifting heavy, running fast, and pushing yourself further than ever before, you need a bra that will help you go that extra mile and make you feel your best. Shop the Infinity High Sports Bra now at UA.com.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans. That's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this midweek edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd. Here with me, I have Rich Lotto. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Watching this country go back to 1972.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to get into it, or do you just want to just leave that and move on and leave that in passing?
Nah, we gotta talk about it.
Okay, so today the Supreme Court struck down Wade v. Roe.
Hold on. If you're not interested in this part, just fast forward.
Yeah.
We can't duck this.
This has been a long-running con from the GOP for a number of years.
Long-term booking, if you will.
Yeah, like this came along with this whole scheme came along with they were packing judges the whole time, like from the Supreme Court to, or blocking Supreme Court nominees to during the Obama administration to packing them in with during the Trump administration to just even like on the the state level as well. Yeah, like they constantly poke holes at all, at like things that seem to
find a way.
Yeah, they always keep poking holes and poking holes at things that seem like they should be bedrocks of civil rights. Whether it was that, or whether after the Obama administration like started, it was like, oh, we're getting rid of the Voting Rights Act, and that's been decimated. And now Roe v. Wade. And you wonder what's next? I shudder to think what's next, but it will be something next that they will, make their next major agenda. I think a lot of people are now concerned about gay marriage.
Yep.
So yeah, it's depressing.
It's pretty depressing to think about it, and to think about everything that led us here. Like you mentioned, the Obama administration and some of their inaction, as well as like
not to cut you off, but like that's not even just the Obama administration; it's the entire Democratic Party.
Yeah, And it's just like, well, they tell us to vote, they tell us to show up, and we do, and then they turn their back straight and tuck their tails and act like they can't do nothing. To play with these people and try to appeal to these people that are not interested in following the rules, like, at all. Like, this is the biggest problem, I think, with the Democratic Party in general right now, is like, they're not really willing to fight fire with fire. It's like,
yeah, I mean, it's, given that so far how radicalized the right has become, it's, I wouldn't say it's asymmetrical warfare, but it is clearly like, I mean, a, you know, center left side for Democrats, basically, and like a further right leaning side, and like, at some point, you would assume that, like, the Democratic Party would move further left. And, you know, Trump has made them move further left because I think for a lot of people, it was crystallization for people, like, what side they actually are on. And, like, oh, I mean, it really started with Obama, but then once Trump came along, it got even bigger. So, but it still stays the same, like, the fighting and the trying to take it further, it is only from the right side, and as far as the dangerous part, or seemingly mostly overwhelmingly from the dangerous part of it. So it's really like they're still trying to behave like this isn't like a like a knockdown, drag out, dirty fight where people are kicking balls and gouging eyes, and it's like, okay. Don't wake up yet? No.
Like, they keep following.
Still trying to keep keep this thing pure. Okay, dummies. Let's see how this keeps going. And it's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
It's like, yo,
it's a very frustrating, annoying lesser evil. It really is.
Yeah. It's like, no matter how many elections, like, the Democrats win, like, they're not in charge. It's just amazing. But I don't have any personal, like, sob stories or sad stories, but plenty of women, I'm sure anybody that's listened to this, women in your lives, or, you know, people that come across your timeline, you'll see people sharing their stories of, what may not be possible now, what they had to go through previously, that were lucky that the laws were in place for them to do such things. This is just all around depressing. Like, this is just like
this ain't, I mean, it's going to stop a percentage of abortions. I mean, people are just going to go out here and do, put themselves in danger to rid themselves of whatever they want to rid themselves of. So, now it's going to be, more dangerous for women to, handle their lives in their bodies, and that sucks.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
It's an
what
understatement
to do
to
here.
say that it sucks. Like,
Yeah, it's like devastating. Like, yeah. And hopefully they don't decide to reinstitute slavery or anything. So once we start down these roads, you never know where they might end up.
I'm trying to think of how long that would take them to actually poke enough holes to get to that. I think we'll be dead by then, but who knows? I think for in theory for that certain type of thing to happen, like, we would probably be dead by then. But whatever. I guess let's get to wrestling. I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless you want to put at the end the Beyonce Drake thing, where you slander Drake, or do you want to do it now?
Oh my god! Bring him to the stage.
Yeah. Okay. So, was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah. Beyonce dropped her first single on her new project that's coming, I believe, this next month, called "Break My Soul," and I just woke up and I saw Tanya tweeting stuff, and I saw something about Beyonce singing. And I was like, just like the like the meme, Beyonce,
right?
go straight to Spotify and play it, and like I hear them like, oh, it's a dance track, and then the and I hear Big Frida on it, which is funny because like me and Alex have both met Big Frida through like through some of those meetings with Jerry or whatever else. Like met her in person, and like funny as hell. And is like she now has 2 songs with Beyonce that became like huge records, and it's also crazy. Like I am like 1 degree of separation away from billionaire Beyonce.
Crazy how life works, ain't it?
Yeah. So like if like I feel like I want to call y'all motherfuckers broke now. Like, but anyway, yeah, like song comes out, I hear it, and like there's not many songs where like I hear them and I immediately just like, this is a hit. Like besides the part where it's like just off the strength of someone being a certain level of legacy act, they're immediately going to go to the top of the charts and shoot to the top of the charts and that sort of thing. But like I heard this and I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be played for like 6 months on the radio at least. So yeah, like I heard it, I really enjoyed the song, and like it is at a point, Pat just posts like the heaviest part of the pandemic. People still, upset politically. Made this very vibrant, joyous song, and aspirational, like this inspiring thing, like "You will not break my soul," like and it was, I think for a lot of people, a lot of women, that I've talked to, they talk about Beyonce, i.e., a lot of black women, they see her as like an aspirational figure. Not that they want to be her, but like to be vulnerable, to be out front, to be shining in that way, to be like almost flawless, was like a thing to aspire to be. Is like a like a lifestyle thing. Kind of people think of like Oprah, for example, like that sort of thing. So I think I think a lot of people really really gravitate to that song, and like the song's a smoker in my opinion. So like I hear that, and then you see some of the discourse of people saying like, whoa, just a couple days ago you didn't like that music that Drake put out. I was like, yeah, because the music isn't about being sad over a fucking breakup. Like the music is for dancing. What part of dance track don't you understand?
Yeah.
I remember there was a Drake. There was a
on top
song.
Of her just being like levels beyond him, like vocally.
That part too is like, okay, so Drake has this very limited range that he's been able to, not limited, but this limited range for someone that has that many singing records as a black singer. Limited range as far as like the spectrum, and like also with the soundscape, he likes it this low, this low tone thing.
He is the melody.
Right, and it's very lo-fi, and it's just dark at times, whatever else, and even can be minimal at times. So, but like once you have, but houses built, or the house that we grew up on as we were kids come through was, aside from Madonna and Vogue, because that's a smoker, but we'll get to that later. Like, it's built on like people that can belt. Beyonce got plenty of belt, so it's just a natural fit.
Think about all those like old house songs or whatever that have like the big loud booming like woman singing, like that's like Lolita Holloway, I believe is her name, and she's like sampled like all throughout, like
she's like James Brown's house, like James Brown is to rap,
right, and once you hear those pianos, it's on,
right?
It's time to smile now,
right. So like I woke up. Well, I saw it late, and then I played it, and I said in a group with like me, you, Kendrick, and some other friends that used to do the music thing all together, and I was like, hey man, this is Beyonce. Like this is the essence. This is the essence of what you want your 90s, your 90s house music to sound like. And then like Kendrick heard it, and then Kirby heard it, and they're both like, yeah, just yeah. This is it. It was just funny because it's like we rarely talk about albums or really singles, like a single hitting you and it hits everybody at the same time. You're all just like kind of like our friend, like that friendom, like anymore. Like I thinking the last time that happened was kind of like probably 24 Karat Magic, where it's like, hey Jason. And you're like, yo, and hey Rich. And it's like, yo, this is a smoker. But it was just, it was just fun to hear. And then like you think about, how Beyonce operates, how she moves with her features and her producers, and like how, exclusive, if you will, it is, or how hard it is to get a hold of her producers. Like that one dude that she works with, I never heard him work with anyone else. The white guy,
word got out.
Name. Go ahead.
Word had to get out. There had to be some advance notice. Like,
right, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay,
that's what I'm getting at. So, because Beyonce, I think for the Beyonce song, the Beyonce album, like I think it was Drake that or somebody like slipped that like Beyonce makes people sign NDAs to work with her. Like, I wonder if the NDAs she gets the NDAs from the same person that works out the Vince McMahon NDAs. I wonder if the person ever like gave, the Beyonce the Vince McMahon NDA, and Beyonce was like, what is this about a sexual relation? Oh, my bad. Wrong suitcase. My bad. Here, this one. Like, what the fuck? Yep. Anyway, yeah. So obviously you think about it and you're like, okay, so these two people, or Beyonce works, very, very privately, very on the tuck. She might be working on stuff right now. She might have more material than Lil Wayne. We don't even know. We never know. Yeah. And for Drake to all of a sudden at last, on 6 hours notice say, hey, I got something coming out on Friday. And it's also interesting because like the big release days for music used to be Tuesdays. And that's pretty much because Beyonce changed it on his head when she dropped one of those albums out of nowhere on a Friday, and then everything turned to Fridays, and now here she goes doing Tuesdays again. So Drake on Friday dropped, so he probably had word that there was word that Beyonce was coming in a month. So he drops his his mediocre album of dance music, and next thing you know, you hear it and you're like, okay, I'm disappointed. And then Beyonce drops like, so clearly he was trying to beat her to market.
Yes.
He's trying to beat her to market. And gotta say, this has blown up in his face in a major way. Like he's still going to be successful. He's going to be able to tour off this because he's Drake. But
I don't know.
Once people say like, all the excuse people being like, it's just black people at this stage. They have rejected, house music in the same way that they have rejected, metal or rock, whatever else, but even though they invented it, they have left it because white people were taking it over, blah, 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 all that nonsense. Like, okay, how about this one? When we have Beyonce making a song that sounded like came off the reel from like 1994. How about it now?
Yeah, sounds a lot like Robin S., like Show Me Love, and also like if I could probably combine like Move Your Body by Marshall Jefferson and Show Me Love, that sounds like the Beyonce song. If I could just like fuse and dance that shit.
Yeah.
But as far as Drake, I don't know if it's better for him to have looked shady as far as the beat to market thing, or drop the shit after where it looks like he's riding another wave, because like he is the Silver Surfer of wave riding. So I don't know if that looks worse at this point, just because it's Beyonce or not. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.
You got a point there that like if you're gonna take his L, he may as well take his L on the forefront, and then after, but because then if he comes out with this like 2 weeks later or whatever else, or a month later, people will be like, oh, okay, so you just basically like put out hastily made slop.
Right.
I mean, it still sounds like hastily made slop though.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying though. It's just less bad, but either way, like he's taking an L in all comparisons to Beyonce, another one anyway. So I just wanted to point out, and like, I am a unabashed Beyonce fan. Like, I think she's had 3 classics. And it's kind of weird how that's gone with like, cause I loved her first album, B-Day, and then like the I Am Sasha Fierce and 4 left me kind of cold. Like, I think some of the records on there are just like knock down, drag out bangers. But then like once Beyonce, the album Beyonce comes out, and then like Lemonade comes out, it's like, oh, okay, we're everything I've thought of her is like back on schedule. So like when she drops this, I'm like, I can't wait for her next album.
Yeah, I can't say I've studied Beyonce's discography that close. I think the one that I've pretty familiar with is like B-Day or the Beyonce album. Everything else I've always just heard like middling kind of reviews on it, but of course these aren't things that you normally say on Twitter or out loud, because your social security number may be public information at that point or something. So it's never really been for me, but obviously you respect the legacy, the legend, if you will, and it was good to hear her kind of pull that out. I like Big Frida a lot. Like I want to say like a couple months ago, I did like a deep dive into her catalog. Just like I was on my New Orleans like binge for a little bit.
I've never gone through Bounce like that. I should though.
Yeah, it's really good. But so interesting. 1 degree removed from Beyonce.
Yeah. But, I mean, like I don't think I exude an orange aura, because I am one step removed from her like yellow aura. But like if you were to believe that, I wouldn't say that I think different lights emit off the sun. That's stars like that. But anyway, let's get to the wrestling.
AEW New Japan Forbidden Door. Man, what a journey to get here. And by what a journey, I mean, what journey? I think the storylines coming into this show.
What storylines?
Are very weak.
Yeah.
I think obviously they had to reshuffle a lot of stuff on the fly. The show's been decimated by injury. It is it's a show that's rife with political stuff that stinks for fans, and you can just see it if you look deep enough in this show. There's a lot of people getting forced on the card. There's a lot of people missing from the card too that seem to be like just either not, I don't want to say like not the criteria or whatever, but it's like you just kind of don't fit on this show. Like, where's Wardlow? Like stuff like that. And
they explained it, but it would have been like, why couldn't you just put him out there to squash a young lion or something?
Yeah. Or like, a House of Torture member or something. Like, I don't know. Like,
I mean, I don't want to see Yujiro in any way, shape, or form. So, I mean, but that's up to you.
Yeah, man. Like, and we got the Young Bucks. Like, they're in a match with Darby Allin and Hiromu and Shingo and Sting and El Phantasmo. And by the way, Hikuleo joins us again.
Who do you think that was supposed to be?
Oh my God.
O'Reilly?
Possibly. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe Hikuleo will take the pin on that match. But
I want Darby to pin Hikuleo. just for the comedy of the size difference. Like, look at this 5'6" guy or 5'7" guy pin this 6'7" guy or 6'10" guy.
Like, Hikuleo is one of the biggest guys in wrestling. Like, it's amazing. Yeah. But there's just matches that are just like, it's close. I know they'll be good, but it's not really grabbing me in the way. But when you look at the collection of talent, this is a world-class card. Yeah. Like, don't get that mistaken. But just when I think of Forbidden Door, this wasn't my Forbidden Door card. Like, obviously, like, I'm gonna say his name a lot because it seems like he's just a forgotten man at this point. It's like, Kenny Omega missing this show is like, Rob Van Dam not being on the first like ECW pay-per-view or something like that. It's like this is like, he's a key to so much stuff. We heard a lot of rumors about him this week that ended up not coming to fruition. So we won't see him for a while unless he, does some type of showing up here. Obviously no Danielson, no Punk, no Tetsuya Naito, there's a lot of people missing. So
I mean, no Ishii. Yeah.
Ishii goes down with injury.
Yeah.
At the last minute. Yeah, man.
Okay, so there was a match. There were two people that were eligible. One person won. The person that won got hurt. They put in the person that ended up losing. That's perfectly fine. And like Clark Connors, to be honest with you, with the communication in a 4-way makes, given that he's good like makes sense to put him in there with, Miro and Malachi and who was the other person that's in there? I forgot.
Pac.
And Pac. Like it could make, in theory, for a better 4-way. In theory. But like I really wanted to see Ishii on this card, and like you mentioned, no Naito, that stinks. Like but I at the same time, I think I heard Dave Meltzer mention like, well, if this thing is still successful, then that means they can run it again. It's like, well, I mean, they already have $1 million gate. They're going to run this again. And like, and he mentioned like, well, you can save stuff for second cards. And I was like, yeah, but like, if you do one show once a year, like, you're never going to run out of matches any damn way.
Correct. And also, like, I think we got to get away from this idea that everything's just going to be available to do, because it might not be. We got people that are coming and going in promotions, people getting hurt left and right. You just don't know. Like a lot of stuff is less guaranteed, like, than it ever was, it seems like. And like the Zack Sabre match, for example, like we don't know who's about to show up for this. Like, I think you can narrow a couple things down what it looks like, but at the end of the day, it's a fucking mystery. It's a mystery partner at the last, or a mystery person at the last minute that is going to be representing AEW that has never competed in the promotion before. So it's like, how much of a forbidden door is this? Like, where's the spirit of competition between the two sides? And
well, it was never. Well, I will say this: it was never presented as like a best of set. It was never presented like it was Starrcade '95. It was presented as it was going to be X versus Z, and like, yeah, I get that, but like, this isn't like Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series. It's not like so for me, I get it. But I'm not hurt that like there's not gonna be an AEW guy in the match against Sabre. If it's someone that makes sense, or someone's gonna have a kick-ass match, or it's gonna pop the crowd, and they're happy that they're because I think they said it's gonna be a new person, right? Like, guaranteed a new person. Like, if it's a new person and it pops the crowd, then the match gonna be great. Then ultimately it's a win. Like, for me, going into this match, given what happened with Night 3 of Wrestle Kingdom this year, like, I was just expecting, like, if you give me, 2 or 3 big singles matches and then, tag it up the rest of the way, I'm fine with that. They give me Moxley and Tanahashi. The Sabre thing, it would have been Danielson, but Danielson's hurt. So it is what it is. And plus, all the other people that are hurt. But, like, once you give me, like, there's going to be an Okada, Jay White, Adam Cole, Hangman Page, 4-way, and there's also going to be another 4-way on the card, and then there's like all the other tag stuff, as you mentioned. Like, I'm good with it. And then so, like, as you mentioned, it comes back to the card, and it's like, on paper that's a great card. The build, what build?
Stunk. Like, and quite frankly, I'm excited to see AEW get back to like, to get their reset going and get the new storylines going that are gonna heat this thing up. And
I think, like, it was a bit of a conscious decision. It was like, this is an all-star game, and like, we're still any of the storyline stuff we're doing is to build towards like AEW coming back to just be AEW after this show. So, like, whatever is happening with Paige and Cole and Jay White is clearly headed towards like some elite Bullet Club undisputed thing that is basically waiting for Kenny Omega to come back. The Kingston and Umino and Yuta versus Suzuki, Jericho, and Lance Archer match is clearly... Is Sammy?
Sammy, yeah.
It's Sammy. Okay. Wait, what match is Suzuki in then?
Suzuki, Jericho, and Sammy.
Where's Archer?
Archer's not on it.
What match is Archer in?
He's not booked.
Yikes. Okay, I totally forgot about it. Okay, I'm mixing up because the tag match that was just on Wednesday.
Yeah, he did
Yeah. But the Sammy Jericho's Suzuki versus Kingston, Yuta and Umino match, like, that is like playing into like there's gonna be blood and guts in a couple days after this, and like they did more of their building towards getting back to television post this show, and I think there'll be more people coming in and out, or coming. I think there'll be more New Japan guys coming in to kind of keep the thing coming in for a few dates or whatever else. Like maybe like 4 weeks here, or
there's gonna be some
whatever
guys
else
left
until there's time for another. I think
I think there's a few guys that are going to be left here in the U.S. for like at least like a month or something. Like I think Suzuki's going to be here. I think
because there's no G1. He's not in G1, so he's going to stay here.
Yeah.
And we'll see where we get to when it's time for to do another show, or it's time to do a show in Japan with AEW wrestlers if they ever get to that. But once you would have assumed, or you would have liked them to have built more personal things, and the only things they really did was actually like some sort of build or story or intrigue in the traditional sense, was like the Tanahashi and Moxley thing, and that was all the strength of Moxley and in a little bit of Jericho. So
we might as well start with that. Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, AEW Interim World Championship.
Yep.
A match that is several years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, there are a lot of questions about Tanahashi, which I always feel like are hilarious, because when does the ace not show up on the big show? It's very rare that Tanahashi comes out here and disappoints. He had his match Wednesday. He was moving around a little rough in it, but at the same time, he's working the crowd. He was in there with Jericho. He ended up getting a pin on Archer. But if there's one guy that I'm not going to bet against in the big match, it's Hiroshi Tanahashi. And Jon Moxley's been, like a man possessed. Great ESPN column on his recovery for his drinking stuff. Like, make sure you guys check that out. But this should be a hell of a match.
Check out his appearance on Renee's podcast from, I think it's this week, and that was really good too.
Yeah. It should be a really good match. Crowd's gonna love both guys. I don't think there's there's not gonna be really a heel here. I wonder, like, if they do the match, like, will Moxley kind of try to lean towards a heel to really like give Tanahashi something, or are we gonna get the heel Tanahashi that shows up kind of in DDT or something like that?
When was the last time he was in DDT?
2014, I believe. It was against Takeshita.
Okay. All right. I think that this match is going to be great. How great, we'll see. But like, I know I haven't just Moxley has wanted this match for years. Moxley was talking about how, like, when his FCW, that like the match that like got him, that kind of just like held him as like this match you'd watch over and over again, was Suzuki versus Tanahashi. So like, you already know the history he has with Suzuki that he's built over the last few years. Like, I think that he wants that same sort of thing with Tanahashi while they can still do it. So I think he's up to try to have a great match. Obviously, there's less, with Tanahashi, you think there's going to be less, of the shenanigans, like jousting with, the stands and stuff, like how he was doing with, and being insane, like how he was with Suzuki. But I think they'll still have a great match nonetheless. And then from there, we'll see where they go. Like, I think that Tanahashi has this puncher's chance, and like, I think that I think you have to make Moxley the champion, but while I watch this match, I will be rooting for Tanahashi because it's more fun.
Yeah, I am all for some shock the world, put it on Tanahashi for like a couple weeks, and then get Tanahashi back on Dynamite to lose it to Moxley or whatever. Get 2 matches out of this thing rather than 1, and do something just to send people into horror that we have a world champion that doesn't speak the language, fluently. Like, I would just love it from that angle, and
I would love it too, because it'd be like, okay, so this pay-per-view did 100,000 buys like normal, and you're complaining about who the champion is. Okay, What is the real problem? I want you to say it into a mirror, and then look at yourself sounding like a bigot.
Yes. If it's my company, I'm putting Tanahashi over, and then I'm doing the match again in like, a month or something, or whenever before the G1, or one of those random weeks that Ace is free, because he's not working many Wednesdays during the G1. Like,
I thought he's not working any.
He's working one single Wednesday. Okay. So I appreciate them scheduling it out that way, just for that little sliver.
Like, that's cool and all, but like, how many like Tuesday? How many like Tuesdays or Thursdays is he working? Because it takes
quite a while,
right, to get back and forth, and also with the time with the 14-hour time difference. Like, so like, it ain't as sweet as oh great, I'll just hop on, I'll just get on the plane after a G1 match on Tuesday, get my ass here on Wednesday. Like, you can do that, but like, okay, it's Wednesday on Dynamite, I guess I'll just make it back on Thursday for this. Oh, it's in 3 hours. Oh, never mind.
TK gotta put him on the PJ.
I don't look. I get what you're saying, but like, I don't. The problem with the PJ is the PJ and the Concorde. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I expect Moxley to win, but I'm down for the AEW title lineage having Hiroshi Tanahashi in it somehow.
I wouldn't mind it at all. In fact, like I said, I'm rooting for it. I just don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah, like I still expect a great match, and I expect more matches from them. And
yep.
I think that I think I would like this to become a rivalry and a feud and rivalry, like for the next however many times they could do it over the next year or whatever.
IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Jay White defending the title against Kazuchika Okada, Adam Cole, and Adam Page. This has been sloppily set up. Okada not being available till this week. The indecision of White, like, I'm not defending the title against you. I'm not defending the title against you. And then actually he's defending against them both and somebody else, kind of makes him look ridiculous in a sense. The Adam Cole insertion, that the condom-like feel that he brings to this match, like he's in there to protect people and to make sure no one gets fucked. So like, he's like, like that man's the mat is screaming for him to put his shoulders on it and somebody get on top of him, like, which is probably Jay White. Like, there's no like mystery going on here. I wonder why the belt had to switch to White to do this ahead of time. I don't know, but this is some get everyone on the card type stuff. Do we know when Okada was like for sure in on this card? Do we know? Was it all along, or was it like it was decided? All along? He was never going to be made available for TV until this week, but TK wanted him sooner.
Okay, so he was all along. This was the match he was going to be in. So, or depending on whatever happened with the rest of injuries, whatever, what have you, whatever. But he was always going to be on this card. I did not know that.
I guess Dominion was really the only time to take the belt off of him before that, unless he was going to win at Forbidden Door, like, and drop the belt here. He's not going to go into G1 and lose it, and then his wife's like, if he has to be out, but I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's a situation where it's like we're not changing the belt, we're not putting the belt on Jay, or we're not taking the belt off of Okada, like not in our country.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that was the feeling. It's like, nah, like we wanted something for Dominion, and Jay White coming back and winning it was it for some reason, but that's what they decided to go with. Like, whatever. So 4-way is gonna be great. So whatever. Like, and it's interesting to me because like, so listening to some people, it like, Okada in a IWGP title match is like the thing that was like the carrot on it was like the incentive thing to make them actually like kind of perk up or care more this week. And for me, it's kind of like, Well, it's not. I mean, he's in an IWGP title match, but it's a 4-way. It's not going to be the 30. It's not going to be like the 35-minute, match of the year contender that you hope for. It's going to be just a great match, a great match.
Like, this isn't the Okada IWGP title defense. Like, this is a lesser attraction in the grand scheme of things than that.
Yeah, but it still moved people nonetheless, which I find to be funny. And it's like all of a sudden it's like, I did not know that you people were Okada fans because, like, hey, I'm an Okada fan. I don't recall us like sharing notes about our affection for this guy like that. But go figure. Either way, he's on the card. It is going to be a great match.
Yeah,
and the pop he got, good lord.
Yeah, big pop in Milwaukee of all places. Shocking that they didn't put a video out ahead of time, and these people just knew who he was.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like he has like this legendary rivalry, like with Cornerstone of promotion.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like this promotion does not even exist if not for his legendary rivalry with a cornerstone of this promotion. just a thought. But anyway, yeah, I just it was funny because I saw like the in building video of it. That coin drops, you can't even hear his fucking music after that.
Damn.
It's like, good lord, that way over. So yeah, they were happy to see him. I don't know if they sell that shirt that he has, but like it reminds me of like his jacket from going into, or not the jacket, but the robe, the Inoki robe that he kind of wore this year. So earlier this year. So like I thought it was cool. So yeah, man, just it was funny seeing him roll in the ring and like he's like, oh, he's so much bigger than Adam Cole.
Bro, that's going to be disgusting when Cole's putting him, like, because he's going to do some offensive moves to Okada at some point, and it's going to be like, I hope Okada's sitting on the ground.
No, man, it's, like, it is what it is. Like, if you can tell the story and make it work, you can make it work. I don't care about that. But it was funny, like, he gets in the ring and, he's bigger than Jay White, and Jay White's bigger than Cole. So it was like, it was funny because it's like, he's about to be in here, he's the smallest dude. People been banging on him about his physique. He has the worst physique amongst these four, and also he's about to probably take this pin. It's like they bullying the shit out of Cole.
Look, the slander's coming.
Yeah, they bullying the shit out of Cole. Yeah.
Stop being mean to that man. Like, for all accounts, this is a really nice guy that everyone's just.
Maybe that's why they doing it.
Like, does he need to come out there, like, on Twitter and just, like, drop, like, a 10-tweet thread on everybody and basically tell them to shut the fuck up?
I mean, I think people will respect him more if he's, stuck up for himself on Twitter like Durant, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He getting banged on. So, there's going to be a lot of, like, pair-offs here.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a 4-way. So
yeah, like the thing that matters the most is like to get a session where they get the two heels out. You can see Okada and Paige go at it for a little bit.
Yep, man, thrilling. And then they can roll out, and get the other two in, to do the finish. So, Zack Sabre Jr. versus a mystery opponent. Of course, Bryan Danielson comes out, cuts a promo.
Hold on, real quick. You just thought about it. So they saved the Rainmaker on Wednesday. Like, he came out, he was about to give either Jay White or Adam Cole one, and they ducked under and rolled out the ring.
Yep.
Now, Okada's going to be in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom next year.
One would assume
at least
so.
One of them, right?
They might have 4 shows, so who knows?
Are you serious? Are you joking?
No, I'm just fucking around.
Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, like, it's made me think, like, you know what if they did the short, they basically do like the evil title reign and say they did it in like 2 weeks just so they can get like another win in America for Okada. Like, that would be funny. So, like, I just thought, like, what if, he pins Adam Cole for the belt, and that still gives, Jay White something, because, like, he beat him in a title match, but Okada didn't beat him to get the belt back, so he has, he has a gripe to get himself into another gold double dash, that sort of thing. So what do you think about that scenario?
think it's a lot of flip flopping of the belt. But it could happen. But
I mean, good thing this belt doesn't have like the great lineage from prior decades.
Right.
Be worried about sullying history.
They this could open the door for Jay White to win a G1 or something, rather than him going in as the champion. Okada's wife still kind of factors into this for me, but I don't know. Until that's out there and done, like maybe I should just like forget about that and just stick to analyzing the wrestling. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever happens, Adam Cole is getting pinned.
Yeah, he's definitely getting pinned. So what's the next match?
Zack Sabre Jr. versus a mystery man. So Bryan Danielson comes out, cuts a promo that totally deflates the crowd. I'm watching it just furious. Just like the way he was talking. Then like he basically cuts like these vague things that he's saying he's doing, that is saying, yo, I'm concussed, but I can pass a whatever type of thing, but I'm not being allowed to wrestle. And I didn't like it. I thought it was a waste of a segment. Like, you could have thrown, especially like Sabre wasn't going to talk. They could have put this out in some type of press release or some type of video ahead of time explaining it, and did something else with that time on the show, rather than, they milked the attention for it, and ultimately disappointed the fans. And I think it really like kind of soured the crowd for like till like the middle of the Aussie Open 6-man.
Yeah, I didn't think of it from the perspective of do you want us to come out and do a promo giving us bad news, but yeah.
And then he tries to work it into like quote unquote being a bad guy, and it's like you got a mystery opponent, and it's like, well, what the fuck? Like it was just all fucking discombobulated.
Yeah, he's being cute. Yeah. I would have liked them to have at least had Sabre come out and at that point then say like, you're running from me, you're ducking me, blah, 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 set the stage for, we're definitely still going to have a fucking match eventually, and then move on from there. Like, that was the part where it's like, if I'm with you, where it's like, you got to give us something, like, so you're going to tell us that he can't wrestle for these two gigantic shows that are coming up in the next, 7 days or whatever, 8 days, whatever, and like, then like, you can't even give us like the thing of like, saying, hey, he said I am healthy, which is great, healthy enough to where I'm going to return to wrestling, and that's great, but it's like, can you at least like, well, if that's the case, and you do that, can you set up the Sabre match you're inevitably going to have? No? Okay. So, like, they should have just had Sabre come out, run him down, said he's ducking him, and then go from there, but they decided
I'll put you back in retirement,
something like that. Yeah, they didn't give Sabre a mic.
Yeah.
And I'm not like, I don't think it's in the world, but like that's what I have like to have had like a nice, something to look forward to, given that we just got some bad news.
Yes. So I guess the thing we're supposed to look forward to is the mystery man. So like it's apparently going to be the person is going to be replacing Bryan not only in this match but also in Blood and Guts, and kind of made it sound like it's a new Blackpool Combat Club member that's making his debut. A lot of people are pointing the finger towards it being Cesaro. Kind of fits the profile of somebody that's close in the way Danielson described.
It takes a lot of ingredients to fix or build a car, like cooking, but without the frozen dinner easy way out. eBay Motors has 122 million parts. It's always the right fitment, so you can follow any recipe to a T. Whether it's a vintage Italian coupe that's classic like grandma's meatballs, or a German luxury car that's as complicated as Oma's rouladen, to cook up something great in the garage, use the eBay Motors app or visit ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Target has Laundry Day covered because they offer a great selection of concentrated Tide Pods to help with all your laundry needs. Tide Pods clean, freshen, and help rejuvenate your clothes with odor fighters and stain removers. Did you know Tide Pods clean better than the leading liquid bargain detergent? Tide Pods are powerful enough to make your whites white and your brights bright, even in cold water. Just toss in 1 Tide Pod for small loads, 2 for medium, 3 for large. It's that easy. For great value and convenient pickup options, get Tide Pods today at Target.
As I mentioned, it's like, I think a new person coming in just to represent AEW versus New Japan here kind of stinks. And I guess I shouldn't even think about it like that. But the answer is just seeming to be just to sign somebody every time. 120 guys on the roster, and there's just more people being brought in. Cesaro wouldn't excite me personally for it. He's a phenomenal wrestler, one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. Just feel like his story has kind of been written in wrestling at this point. I don't really, he's going to throw a couple guys around, probably have some great matches and uppercut people and giant swing Satnam Singh at some point. But I don't know. There's not a Bryan Danielson replacement. So like no matter who's walking through that door, it's not you, Bryan Danielson. So it's tough to remain excited about that.
Yeah, I agree. There is no Danielson replacement, especially with like the injuries they have. Like, if this was depending on the person, is like, okay, so Danielson is out. All right, so I guess that means you put in, you put in O'Reilly or something like that.
That would be the closest, right?
Right.
But he's injured too.
Right. He's injured too. It's like, fuck, this sucks. Like, everybody's fucking broke up. So yeah, that's kind of they're trying to make they're dealing with a bad situation, that one. But I'm at least glad they're bringing Sabre over. So whatever. Like, I think that match. I know you're not that big of a Sabre fan, and quite frankly, like Sabre is so good that he has gotten me to begrudgingly like the fact that he plays defense against the action at times with his stuff. But that dude's a flat out great wrestler. But like, I just don't love his style sometimes. But he's won me over on the long run. So yeah. So interesting to see who he brings in, and like either way, like it's gonna be a banger of a match.
3-way winner take.
Real quick. Like, I want another picture of Zack Sabre and Adam Cole together.
And why is that, sir?
Oh, because, the 6 foot and 6 foot. And then
men of similar heights.
Yeah, and then also, like, I also want another picture of Sabre and Moxley, because in Moxley's book, he said the first time he met Zack Sabre was in a German discotheque. And like when he wrote that, I was like, and I read, I was like, what?
And what is Zack Sabre Jr. doing in a club?
No. What is Moxley doing in a German discotheque? That makes no sense.
Moxley, a man of the world. I feel like Moxley could be anywhere on the globe at any time, and I believe it. He's a Tyson Zone guy.
Look, if you had said he was procuring drugs, I'm like, oh, that's the only acceptable answer here. Like, but the idea of, like, it just sounds funny. Who the fuck says the word discotheque? It just sounded funny. Anyway, we can move on.
3-way tag winner take all match for the ROH tag team and the IWGP tag team titles. AAA belts missing by missing here. FTR versus United Empire, the Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb, and Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta, Roppongi Vice. So this is an interesting match. Belts on the line, lots of different scenarios here. We kind of talked earlier this week about possibly FTR like winning these things and, going on to do a big match with the Young Bucks. The AAA element kind of throws maybe a wrench in that, like them holding, that's got to be a nightmare. Like the IWGP belts and the AAA belts. I know we'll never like see the AAA belts while that happens, but that's kind of, it's weird. Like, CMO will be like, hold on, what is this? Like, I don't know. It's just there. It seems like there's a lot there. Rocky and Trent feel like they're here to get pinned. I just don't know who's doing the pinning.
Oh, I think that the titles are changing and FTR is winning it, and like we're getting this all on the line, and that's how I would do it. Obviously, as you mentioned, the possible politic play, which is like, if that's the case, then why are they even allowed on the card, seeing that they're changing the AAA? But Andrade can't be on the card. Phoenix can't be on the card. Penta can't be on the card. Yeah, so it makes you wonder like how far does this shit go and whatever. But yeah, either way, like it's gonna be a great match. Like Roppongi Vice, I almost called them 3K. No, they're not 3K. They're a great tag team. And Okan and Cobb, like I can't wait to see what power spot Cobbs comes up with. The other 4 opponents. It's gonna be fun. I'm interested to see how the crowd reacts to Okan in a match. The American crowd. I'm interested to see how that goes because he's
a wild boy.
Yeah, but also the thing is like the way he got over in Japan. I don't know if that can just translate to success in the same way here. And like you hear Meltzer always act like he's mid or something. Like I think that plays into it as well. Why he acts like that or is like not that into that dude's future. So I'm interested to see how he reacts in front of his crowd. I think maybe some things work that way. Well. People will shut the fuck, or maybe Meltzer will stop it and knock it off.
He's done well in some of the smaller shows that New Japan's done, like in front of the American crowds. He's been pretty over, so hopefully that translates for him here too. Yeah. U.S. title also, Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy. Of course, Juice Robinson still has the physical championship, so these guys are fighting for the United States heavyweight NFT. And Will and OC is the remix of Pac and Orange Cassidy. The angry Brit against this guy that just doesn't give a fuck. Orange kind of turned on the Jets a little bit on Wednesday in the match. It feels like he knows like people may not necessarily be as excited about the match. A lot of people want someone else in there with Will. So I think he's going to come out there with something to prove. Obviously, Ospreay's going to roll out of bed and give us a great match. So Will goes over, Hidden Blade, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. This is going to be a great match. Like, I feel like I don't know what happened, like, since, I guess, the beginning of this year. Maybe it was a post-Adam Cole feud. But it feels like people are, like, cold on Orange Cassidy in a way that has never happened before since AEW started. And, yeah, obviously, the injury and hiatus from the injury did not do him any favors. But glad he's back, and, like, they're going to have another killer match. And I think that kind of I think it'll help remind people that, like, oh, yeah, the Orange Cassidy guy, like, has great matches. Like, when asked upon, except for, like, that one weird Jericho run, but, whatever.
Besides that, I got really nothing else for you on that. There's a very interesting Kenny Omega interview.
Yes.
He's got some choice words about Will Ospreay. Nasty work from the cleaner.
This man is like, this is like the Donovan Dickhead stuff.
Bro,
where it's like he was
totally in character.
Like you're just totally in character, just doing the thing.
This was a Tokyo Sports interview that he dropped on this man.
Yeah, all the passive aggressiveness and like doing comparing him to Jay White and putting Jay White above him and saying like. Adding like Jay White is like some Tam Nakano level like non-athlete. It was like, what are you talking about? He's like, if you're just an athlete that Ospreay is, and like, you just roll out of bed and do whatever you want to. But if you're Jay White, you just gotta think. You gotta think hard. Like all of a sudden, like this scrappy ass heel Jay White is like, if you don't stop. Like, if you don't stop and not get the fuck off with this,
bro.
Omega. What is the match?
Bro, I was fucking hollering because a couple months ago, Will went on some podcast and was giving it to Kenny. He was calling him Two-Faced, all this other stuff,
right? And that was the same thing. It was like this is his version of the same shit. Yeah.
Some people were saying this is kind of like kind of what Tanahashi kind of used to say to Kenny a little bit. Which is funny. Kenny kind of goes into this role where, he's like, I used to care about, the 5-star matches. I had like five of them. Yep. I grew up kind of, but I'm like, look, you ain't fooling me. Like I've seen this man hop off the table and come out like a madman before. I anticipate him doing the same thing.
You think he has more? You think that Kenny Omega right now in 2020 has more smoke for Will Ospreay than Cody Rhodes? Are you out of your mind? Come on now.
Yeah, like these guys are clearly working at an angle that they both want to do really badly.
And I want to see that, like, trying to think, what match would I have above that as far as my, like fantasy booking type of thing of like, or dream match thing scenario, like in the world right now. It might be it. That might be the top match. I want to see the most out of any match. I can just like dream up on top of my head. That might be it.
Dave might go 7.5 on that one.
In 5 minutes.
Yo.
Already wrote it in pen, brother.
They got to sit Dave ringside for that match wherever it happens. Like it needs to be like how Flair and Steamboat were at it, and then he was sitting there in Chicago. We need Dave live reactions there. They need Dave in the video package, and he needs to be complimentary of both of them. Now, like, I don't know who's gonna win.
This is what I'll say. Like Meltzer is. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you like how like there's this thing I've been doing in one of our group chats where I've essentially foreshadowed, what Kenny's gonna be sounding like in a way.
Yeah, so like Meltzer, when he's at these AEW events, like loses his mind over Racy's matches by like half a star on average, seemingly. Like put him at ringside. Oh my god. This man, look, they may put the camera on Meltzer. Meltzer might put up all 10 fingers and put all 10 fingers into the camera.
We need like in the lower left hand screen, like a little square, like the Meltzer cam for this match. I need it.
Oh my god!
But yeah, if you guys haven't seen that interview, check it out. It's phenomenal, quite frankly. Tony Storm versus Thunder Rosa. They have not done phenomenal interviews leading up to this match, and you know what? I don't blame them. I'm not really trying to hand either of them mic. Just get the ass in there and wrestle. I'm going to take Tony Storm in a shocker.
I think that Thunder Rosa retains, and they build towards Tony Storm winning the belt later down the line. I think that's where they head with her. I think it's too soon. I just think that it's a good match to have a good title defense for Thunder Rosa to get to it. Like, and I think there's also people that can, I don't know what the situation is with Sheeta right now, but like they got to run back a Sheeta in Thunder Rosa match at some point.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
At least that's what I would hope, given how well their first match went when Sheeta was champion.
So we got Pac, Miro, Clark Connors, and Malachi Black in a 4-way for the inaugural AEW All-Atlantic Championship. Man, a lot of ways this one could go. I don't think it's going to Clark Connors.
No.
I'd be shocked. Miro, I don't know. Don't think so. I feel like this is a good belt for Pac, honestly. I know he's kind of been crippled by travel at times, but maybe, just maybe, there's a nice run in him to establish the belt before he disappears again.
Fucks off.
Yeah.
Malachi or Pac, I feel like have to win this. I just think that, especially,
I want a fucking super match belt.
Yeah, that, and also I think given Malachi's like affinity for New Japan Pro Wrestling, like that was like his first promotion he ever watched growing up. Like I think that he's talked about like he wants to go to do New Japan. So like, I think it makes sense. Like I think that this is going to be, like we talked about, like the kind of his relationship to like the SWA belt and Stardom, like it's a Gaijin excursion belt, and like I feel like you put this on whoever is like the international talent is going to go and wrestle around the world and bring it back, and all that sorts of stuff. So for me, I think that it makes sense going on one of them, because like they're going to come back and have a killer match with somebody, and the next person takes off with it. Miro, I feel like if it's almost like if it were to be him, it's almost like they make new titles. They can make him the TNT champion all over again, away from Wardlow.
Yeah, feel like I kind of seen it. a little bit, and there needs to be a tweak or something. He seems to be a babyface right now, but I don't know.
Yeah, it seems that way. But we'll see. Like either way, like I don't think there's any wrong decision outside of putting on Clark Connors.
Yeah,
and that's not because Clark Connors ain't good. Yeah. Like Clark Connors and like Connors and the rest of them, like LA JoJo dudes, like around the American Indies over the next 5 years, like they're great. So I don't mean in that way.
Sad not to see Ishii here.
Yeah,
would have loved seeing him and Miro, run into each other a couple times. But such is life. 8-man tag team match.
Bro,
Darby Allin.
Good like a Ishii singles match versus any of those three would be, especially like Miro Pack. Jesus Christ, great.
8-man tag. Darby Allin, Hiromu Takahashi.
Darby Allin, Hiromu Takahashi, and who else?
Shingo Takagi and Sting, the dudes with attitude. So they're bringing back Sting's old stable for one night. I'm very interested to see the outfits. I want Sting to kind of coordinate something that has to do with like the wackiness a little bit, or they can incorporate the Sting, kind of wear like Hiromu can do something.
Can we get like Shingo? Can we get Shingo to get a translated interview where he lies and says that Sting influenced him to start wrestling? I mean, why not? Sting's been around long enough to where you can believe, where that's believable.
It's feasible, yeah.
Right.
It's feasible,
right?
Darby and Hiromu being teammates is just hilarious. On one hand, then they're taking on.
Never wrestle each other. Do you know why I say that?
Because someone might die.
Exactly. I don't want them to wrestle. Someone might die. Someone might die, and someone it's a great chance someone will break their neck.
Well, good thing Dookie isn't coming because he's replaced Hiromu on the crazy scale. So I was talking to Swerve the other day about Dookie. I was like, man, they should have brought him, and then that man would have like lost his damn mind. Like you put him in the United Center, and this man would have, did that senton to the floor real quick.
That man wrestles as if like he. Never mind. I think I would love to know what his pre-match ritual is. I'll leave it at that.
And then we're going to be taking on the Young Bucks, and who have, for one night only, have rejoined the Bullet Club. They've done this funny thing where they've turned their avatar on Twitter back to them in Bullet Club merch, and they've been making hints that they got to go through some boxes to find something to wear. And the Young Bucks Bullet Club t-shirts have gone on sale for a limited time this weekend on Pro Wrestling Tees. So they're about to try to rake it in this weekend. I'm sure the Bullet Club could use the help. Selling them shirts. El Phantasmo, who I love, and Hikuleo's in this match. The Bucks and Phantasmo have potential to just be hilarious, show all the ass.
Oh yeah, they're going to get so much shithead heat. Oh my god, yeah, definitely all the shithead heat in the world.
It's a this is a lunatic Fire Pro match on paper. A lot of these, if you can see some of the mixed matches we're getting to, there's a 6-man Umino, Wheeler Yuta, Kingston against Jazz, Jericho, Sammy, and Suzuki. They're intermingling guys here. So this could end up in a situation where someone from someone's promotion pins, like the AEW guy pins the AEW guy, the New Japan pins the New Japan guy. So there's a lot of that stuff on the table.
I can't wait for there to be some friction between Suzuki and Jericho, and then Jericho cuts a promo and says, "What kind of guy leads a group of men and names a group after themselves?"
Yes,
because he does that all the time. Yes. I can't wait till he does that. I'm gonna pop because he's such a jackass. It's great. It's gonna be great.
So we're going to have Judas. We're going to have Kaze Ninare. I assume Suzuki would turn on him after the match.
Sure, why not?
As far as that 8-man tag goes, I'm going to take the good guys in this match. I think Hikuleo's getting pinned. Pinned by Darby, maybe.
I don't know who gets the pin, but Hikuleo's definitely getting pinned.
And then, and also in the last match, Clark Connors is getting pinned.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
You mentioned he's getting pinned in the LIJ and or I guess the emo LIJ match.
Hikuleo.
Oh yeah, I'm tripping. You're right.
Yeah. Right. As far as the 6-man, it's Umino, Wheeler Yuta, the biggest star in the business, and Eddie Kingston.
Well, you gonna let that go?
Never. Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Suzuki. I think Sammy's going to get pinned here. And they basically, I don't know. Suzuki turns on him after the match or some shit.
I think that okay, so the Anarchy in the Arena Stadium Stampede match they had at the last pay-per-view, JSA won. I believe that you're going to have at Blood and Guts, I believe that Kingston and Moxley are going to win. So I think that you put Umino in the match, beat Umino.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. I think you have that win there. I think that happens there. And then you have Suzuki, you have Jericho try to nudge Suzuki and give him a fist pound, and Suzuki's and then chokes the shit out of him. Yeah.
The premium been paid already.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm fantasy booking, but I think it makes sense to just beat Umino. The pop he got was interesting. You talked about it last week though. Yeah.
Another pin for a New Japan guy. There's also a match hasn't been announced yet. Will be announced on Rampage. I'm just gonna put it out there now. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland against against El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. So this is actually a nice, crafty little tight match right here. I think it's gonna be on the buy-in if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And it could serve to further whatever Lee and Swerve have going on. They're kind of doing this thing where they're uneasy of each other since Swerve threw Keith Lee out that Battle Royal.
They hit it directly. Swerve is doing,
he's swerving over
untrustworthy things. And then they talk about, it's Shaq and Kobe. Man, what you gonna leave it Shaq and Kobe? You're right, it is Shaq and Kobe. it's Kobe trying to so we'll see where it goes. But so far it's that's exactly the story. I wish someone would be I don't get it why he's doing this. He told you it's Shaq and Kobe.
That's so funny. Swerve should show up with a Kobe jersey on, for one of these Dynamites or whatever, and then throw Swerve a Shaq jersey or some shit. Hey man, I got you something. This Swerve, and Keith Lee be man, what the fuck is this?
Maybe the people are too young to realize that Kobe wasn't the patron saint of basketball that he wasn't from 2000 from the Virginia team on. Maybe they need to update it. Maybe if I can't say it's Kobe is Kyrie and LeBron, people will be oh okay, I get exactly what you mean now. Okay, yeah. But
I think Destiny and Swerve might have the potential to have some good chemistry in there. Kanemaru's had a good year from everything I'm hearing. And Lee's gonna throw everybody around. I think you can give Desperado and Kanemaru to win here, and then use that to serve the dissension here.
So
there's a lot of New Japan guys looking like they could be taking L's, but I feel like this is a good one to go the other way, especially that you can further if they win. It doesn't really add to their story. If they lose, there's more places to go.
That's true, but it's up. Yeah, if it is up for a lot of people, they're gonna hate that when they see that size differential. They're gonna hate that. They're gonna hate seeing.
Yeah.
They're gonna hate seeing. And I don't care about that, but people are gonna be how the fuck? They got 120 pounds on this tag team. How the fuck did they lose to them? It's well, it's fake. That's how.
Yeah, they booked it.
Yeah, but we'll see.
And then the other pre-show match. There's one more pre-show match that I don't know. So, Max Caster and the Gun Club, Billy, Austin, and Colton against Alex Coughlin, Kevin Knight, the DKC, and Yuya Uemura in the 8-man tag. Caster will get to do his rap. Besides that, a lot of Young Lion stuff here.
Is Coughlin who else?
Coughlin, Kevin Knight, the DKC, who's actually on Rampage in a few minutes, and then Yuya Uemura.
Okay.
So this would be fun. Some of the LA Dojo guys have shown up on Dark. There was a 5-on-5 they did with the Factory. I want to say maybe like 3 weeks.
Was that based off the invasion from what's it called? Strong Style Evolved a few weeks ago.
I think it was the fallout of that.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was a solid match. I actually checked that one out. So, this would be entertaining. Get Max Caster in there to do the entertaining stuff before the match. This could be kind of fun in a weird way.
Have you seen how much of Kevin Knight have you seen?
He does a really good drop kick.
Leapers.
Yes.
Leapers.
Have you heard his promos?
Yeah. I've seen one, and I don't know how he got mixed up with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Why would he even like this to want to do this? I want to know.
He kind of seems like he would hang out with Ant Edwards,
That's why I'm trying to figure out how the fuck he get mixed up with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Like Kevin Knight has rapped before. Like no one can tell me different. So Yuya Uemura.
I'm not going to disagree. I got the same vibe.
High quality prospect. Yuya Uemura. I've followed his career for a few years now. Since throughout his Young Lion days, and Billy Gunn, of course, gets on the card because if you're a New Japan Pro Wrestling, you come to America, Billy Gunn must be somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I mean, what was that? How many years ago was that match with Tanahashi?
5 years ago.
Was that Long Beach?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's a Forbidden Door show. There's a lot of things to look forward to if you're just thinking about the card. Some people think the card sucks. Some people think it's like a waste of money and a scam and whatever. But I think the show's gonna hit like the 100,000 mark. I think fairly easy. AEW fans and at larger, I don't think are scared off from purchasing this. And hopefully it leads to another one that they can reload the gun on, because like we got the first one out the way, now start emptying the gun. Let's get the big matchups in here. Let's get back to the table doing the negotiations to have some people beat somebody, and it's not the end of the world. Like I think they get hung up on that stuff a lot, where I think dudes can't just lose and recover, and some of that philosophy is seeped into AEW a lot. I'd probably say the last year, a lot of the finishes, sometimes they always have to have someone causing the finish there to give someone an out. And it's they need to learn the value of beating somebody and then having that person come back, because it's the easiest story to tell, redemption. Yep. So, besides that, I got nothing else. You got any final thoughts on Forbidden Door?
I'm still, my excitement level for the show has never changed. I was kind of realistic on what it's going to be. You're almost never going to get the knockdown, drag out 10 match card that you thought you were going to get. Got to be more realistic about it. So I tempered my expectations, and I was under no impression that it was going to be Wrestle Kingdom of America. So I thought it was going to be a great card with with some tags on there, and we were going to probably get one or two big matches, and injuries thing happened with Danielson, so unfortunately it didn't happen. But we got the IWGP title match on here as a 4-way, but Okada's here, we got Tanahashi here. The only person that's really missing in a way for the New Japan AEW match big time that's not here is really Naito and Ishii.
Yeah, and then Kota Ibushi, who's
the Ibushi thing has he would have been here, but he, that's a whole different weird thing, right? So I can't fault anybody for that. Well, I could if I want to, I could fault the Kikuchi dude, but whatever, but just. I guess now we just talk about the Stardom pay-per-view and get through this because it's only 6 matches.
Well, James, hit the music.
Okay, so same day as Forbidden Door on Sunday, June 26th. In Nagoya, they are. I think I've talked to you about this card before, but not on air. But they right now are in the process of like they've already were kind of doing 2 pay-per-views a month, but like it's almost like this one is like an attraction pay-per-view, and then the other one is like looks more in line with a traditional pay-per-view. So
is this like they're just to use the steel cages?
That's what it seems like. This feels like that.
Okay.
The main event is Stars vs. Queen's Quest. Top 3 of Stars, Mayu, Hazuki, and Kaguma versus top 3 of Queen's Quest, Utami, Kamatani, and Izumi in a cage match. There's not a clear idea what the rules are. It's going to be very similar to the elimination tag team ladder match or trios ladder match that they had in early December last year, where like we won't know the rules seemingly or explained to us until the night of the show. Like there's talk of there's an escape the cage rule, but it's also elimination, and it's like what? All I know is they're gonna have a match. It's Kamatani, it's Izumi, it's Kaguma, it's Mayu, and it's Suzuki. People are gonna be flying off top of this cage, and people are gonna be doing all types of crazy shit off of it.
Are they gonna pull out the 1981 Madison Square Garden cage to let them jump off, or are they going to give them some real shit?
I don't know. I haven't seen the cage. I don't know what that cage. I don't have no idea what it's going to look like. I don't know. All I will say is they have the benefit of it. It's been years since there's been a cage match in Joshi. I can't calm down the specific times. Like, I guess JML will get back to me. He was talking about it before about seeing some match from a few years ago, but like it's been years. And but like I will say this, I have seen the AJW cage. It looks like a regular cage. But what I will say that they has the advantage of is even if it is one of those rinky-dink cages, all these women are like the tallest person is Kamatani at 5'6". So it won't look as bad as when you got like some 6-foot motherfucker in there. You're like, oh, the cage is like not even twice as big as them. Okay, so they do have that benefit of that. But yeah, I think the match is gonna be outrageous, and I wonder what's gonna happen. Like Phoenix Splash off top of the cage, moonsault off the cage is definitely happening. Moonsault off top of the cage is definitely happening. Like I'm pretty sure Mayu has been like, almost once a year, I see fucking EO do a moonsault off the top of a fucking cage. I want my turn, goddammit. So there's that. But
I hope no one puts themselves in a trash can first and then jumps in the cage.
I wonder if that's EO's header still. I wonder. I'd have to look, but I wonder. Semifinal. Tam versus Natsupoi. Singles match in the cage. No escape rule.
Somebody will die.
Tam tweeted earlier today that something along the lines of, it's going to be me and you in this cage, and there's going to be no one to stop when you start crying and screaming.
So is when Tam gets in the cage, is she going to shut that bitch behind her like the Undertaker?
I don't think so. But given that she's out here, fucking with the occult now, she might just close the door like it's Hell in a Cell. Tam has a new shirt that's on sale for this that starting on Sunday, and like it looks like the shit that
shit, it looked like the fucking disclaimer before the Thriller video.
I don't remember that, but it is some. Okay, so Tam isn't a magical girl, but like she talks about magic and along with the cosmic stuff or whatever else, and like this looks like almost like a magical medallion type of thing, almost like the fucking Eye Agamotto in Doctor Strange. You have no idea what that is. I know you don't know what the fuck that is. I'm talking to people that actually watch the Marvel movies, whatever. But like it looks like when Doctor Strange does spells, like the shit, like it looks like that, but whatever. Anyway, like, but it's on a black shirt, it's white, and like it's been grayed out, and like then there's also a triangle. I'm sorry, a triangle on top, like a pyramid on top, and like each side has like a name of one of her big moves, like her bicycle knee, her screwdriver, her super modified tiger suplex driver, whatever else. And like at the bottom there's an inscription like of one of her promos talking about magic and believing in Tam Nakano. And like, but the font is like, in this weird, it's like, it looks like, it's hard to explain, but once you zoom out and look at the whole shirt, it's like, oh, this is like a shirt that like Malachi Black would have made. This is a Malachi Black shirt. And so, like, it's fucking hilarious. Like, I've talked to Zach about trying to procure one of these things. So we'll see how this goes, trying to get this Tam Nakano devil shirt, but, in the coming, weeks and months. But anyway, yeah, like, I mean, these two have had each other's guts ever since Tam has left, Actros Girls in kayfabe. And, they've always had, like, significant heat every time they've ever touched in the ring.
It was going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. And, like, you know, I think the last preview for it was that match that went to a draw, that trios match that went to a draw, and they were incredible in it. And, like, I don't know if you saw the press conference, did you?
I did. Weren't they, like, slamming each other's heads into, like, food or something like that? So, yeah, like, so in the lead up over the coming weeks on Twitter, Tam mentioned, like, in catering, like, fucking Natsupoi has been, like, stealing the food that she knows that she eats. Like, she basically, like, goes there and takes the food. Like, it's like some type of pasta, some type of, like, seafood dish, I think. So, Natsupoi was like, whatever, I ate it, leave me the fuck alone. And she's like, what always happens, you know I like this, and you don't even like this, but you keep taking it or whatever, something along those lines, whatever else. And then Natsupoi's like, tough shit. And then, like, you know, Natsupoi being a former Kairi young girl when she was coming up, back when she was doing, you know, shows in Stardom, and back when Kairi was doing a couple shows of Actros Girls when they were starting out, like, they had that connection when Natsupoi and Tam had their white belt match last year. Like, Natsupoi wore gear that Kairi gave her, that Kairi used to wear in 2016 when she was white belt champion. So with the White Knights thing with Tam and Kairi and Kairi coming back and, like, choosing Tam to be her tag team partner for spots or whatever else, like, Tam's been rubbing it in Natsupoi's face as, like, you were her young girl, she chose me coming back, and she's, like, rubbing it and poking her with that, and, like, so they get to like a not good person. I mean, they hate each other. They're fucking antagonizing each other. So, like, so they get to the press conference, and Tam says all that stuff, and, like, you know, we had that match last year, and I beat you, and, like, where was, like, the fire I seen in you with all that, like, that don't exist no more. Is it, you only like that with me? Like, you know, like, are you thinking of retiring? And then, Natsupoi is like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be nice to you. I brought some dishes out. You know, you said that I took your pasta, I took your seafood dish. Here it is. Here's your stuff. And she's like, go ahead and eat up. And Tam's like, I'm not eating that. Poison that. You poison that. Natsupoi's like, shut up and eat. I'm not eating it. Shut up and eat. I'm not eating it. Grabs the pasta and throws that shit in Tam's mouth. And then Tam, you know, humiliated. I knew someone was over there both wearing white, and all of a sudden I see food bringing. I was like, oh, okay, they about to throw food at each other. So they both wearing white, all, you know, pasta and just all over Tam's face. Yes, at the press conference. So then, like, Natsupoi just shit-eating grin that she, you know, has made her just a mess. So, you know, like I said, there's also that seafood. Tam grabs her by the back of her head and puts her face first into it, and then they start scrapping, and then, you know, everybody has to break them up, and they, you know, they got to separate, and they got all that stuff all over them, and then at the end of the press conference, they have the group picture, and they're both on opposite ends in white, just looking terrible with all that shit on their faces and in their hair and on their white clothes. Yeah, and then there's also, like, there was a backstage press conference, or, like, post-match interview thing where, like,
they started scrapping, and they ended up like fighting in the elevator as the elevator closes, and they're going either up or down. Like as you mentioned, like this shit's gonna be excellent. It's gonna be heated. This is gonna be I think this is gonna be one of the best matches starting this year. I think it's gonna be great. I can't wait for this match. Somebody might get juice. Somebody might get juice, and I don't think it's gonna be somebody blading either. I think someone's gonna get hard weighed. At the worst, someone's mouth is getting busted.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Like these two have like an extensive history that, as you detailed pretty well. Anybody that's heard this show kind of remembers those reviews. I think I don't know who's gonna win here. They like Jane's been talking about there's a. They're kind of like looking at building up Tam right now, so she could easily like win and continue that path. But I just hope Natsboy doesn't get lost like in just losing. Like, well, so
okay. So here's the thing. So 2 days after the show, they're having another match, a singles match. Mm-hmm. So it's basically a 2-match series. So I think they're just going to go 1-1 because I think both of them are going to. Tam going to get a red belt match at some point before the year's over, and I think that's what's going to get another shot at the white belt before the year's over too. So I think they're just wanting to do something because like they're not. Tam has a lot of stuff going on. Natsupoi not so much. And now that like Muhammad Poi doesn't have the trios belts, they're trying to figure out like what to do in the meantime in the next couple, like basically next month until Grand Prix carries the rest of the stories for another 6 weeks or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like, I gotta say, like, I can't wait to see, like, these two matches because they fucking hate each other and they hate each other hard as hell when they wrestle each other. So, the undercard or the non-main event, some main event matches, third from the top.
Phoenix and Andrade match was fucking great. I got on mute. Just thought I'd mention.
Yeah. Also, don't tell me who won. I'm going to watch this later. The third from the top, trios title match, 3-way. The champions, Kid, Momo, and Saki versus God's Eye. They're 3, Shuri, Mirai, Ami, and Domino Mondo, Julia, Micah, and Mai Sakurai. As I mentioned, I think last week, this basically came off the backs of God's Eye, or off the backs of Julia pinning Saki at a match, winning a title shot. Just at a Korakuen Hall. And then the next match, Mirai and Shuri went to a draw with, I believe it was Himeka and Natsupoi, and they were just 2/3 of the last trios champions, so they wanted to be put in also into the trios title match. Like, I think a lot of it's going to be based off of like, Julia and Shuri, and also they want to preview Momo and Shuri at the next pay-per-view after this for the red belt. And it's an elimination match, so it's going to be hijinks. Like, this is, it was funny because like Julia mentioned like at the press conference she hates elimination matches because like that's how she does most of her losing. So I'm picking Oedo Tai to retain. They off in the distance, it seems like they have a match with Cosmic Angels where they're gonna end up putting away Cosmic Angels. They've been on a run where they just don't lose. They only lose when like they have Waka with them. So I think that's where they're setting up for those 3. So just a match to have like whole bunch of wrestlers on it. Next match, singles match, Himeka versus Mina. During the Cosmic Angels, Mahima Poi stuff, they had always, had their interactions as the kind of like the B-side of the Tam and Natsupoi stuff where they're always fighting over the pink belt. So, they had a match last year in the Grand Prix. I can't remember how it was, but like natural chemistry, have a history. They were friends starting out, when in their training early in their career before Stardom. So, they talked about it coming full circle and like, how it is. It's going to be a giant versus a damsel in distress, and the damsel is going to fight back. It's going to be fun. undercard, or I think, first match, or opening match, I believe. Stars, the two of the other, no kids on this show, by the way, no teenagers, so no Hannah sisters. But second match, you got Ida and Kogo versus Lady C and Miyu Amasaki, and that's, is basically like the stars, B Team Stars and B Team Queen's Quest before the main event, when it's actually the main event Stars and main event Queen's Quest. Yeah, so like I want to see Lady C and Ida in the match and have a chop off. And then the opener, Unagi versus Waka versus Roaka.
Waka.
Like Waka. Good luck. Good luck. But yeah, that's the card. It's gonna be a fun card. Like I'm like really excited for the last I think the last 4 matches are gonna be really good at worst. But like I think that they just do so many pay-per-views or announce them as big matches, and then they air them as pay-per-views. But this is going to be a great show regardless. And like, it'd be a nice advertiser on Sunday to watch this and then go to Forbidden Door. Yeah, it's going to be a nice weekend of wrestling coming up. Can't wait to see it all. Yeah. All right. So, is there anything else? I got nothing, man. Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, y'all. Be sure to rate us whatever app you're using to listen to this with. Go to our red circle and drop us off with a donation. And listen to the other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, the Ricky Clive Wrestling Show, Grown Men Watch This Shit, The Grave Consequences, 8-Bit Suplex, All Things Elite, Get in the Ring, Great Match Generator, Meet the Press Slam, and AEW Match Guide. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later. Peace.
Searching for just the right job? Whether you're looking for full-time, part-time, or seasonal work, you can get started today. Amazon Jobs offers the whole package with great pay and flexible shifts that allow you to choose when and how much you work. Find a warehouse close to home and discover the role that works for you. To get your application started for an hourly job, go to Amazon.com/apply. That's Amazon.com/apply. Amazon is proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
In New Hampshire, all roads lead to adventure. The Granite State isn't only home to New England's tallest peaks. You'll also find epic coastal views and charming towns perfect to explore on a summer trip. Whether you're seeking the adrenaline rush that comes from kayaking rapids or the peaceful chill that comes from enjoying a cocktail on the porch of a classic B&B, there's something for everyone in New Hampshire. For more summer inspiration, go to visit nh.gov. That's visitnh.gov. Discover your new.